What up, what up, what up? We back. Eternal K with Reelspicy. Now we about to get into another one. Get to another clip. And this one's about delusional feminists. She about to hit that wall, but she don't know what that wall look like. She don't know that wall coming. It's the wall that, after you done went through all the guys that probably done, made themselves available to you and was willing to do what they needed to do. You didn't want to settle. You know what I'm saying? You call it settling. You're trying to get the best deal, but you're getting up there in age now. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's a little harder to have kids. And if that's what you want, right? You want to have kids, you want to have a family, you want to get married, right? And so that's the wall we're talking about. All right. So we ain't gonna waste too much of your time. We'll go right into this clip. Let's get it.
I'm curious, like going back to the virginity thing, if you guys could go back in time, would you wait until you were married to have sex?
Yes,
Yeah, you would?
100%.
Yes, Courtney Bond. Yes,
Yeah,
Bond.
I
Yes.
would too. I would. What
Yeah,
about you?
100%.
Do you know what? I don't know, because I feel like every relationship that I've been in, I've learned something from. So it's like if I said I'd go back and change it and not do it, then I wouldn't have learned the things that I would have moving forward. So I don't know. It's almost like saying I'm just gonna eliminate experiences that I've had.
Yeah, but if they ended badly, like what value does like sexual experience bring to you now? Like what if you're gonna, let's say you meet your husband tomorrow and you're going into a marriage and you could have just slept with him,
Yeah.
or slept with him and all these other guys. Like, don't you think it would be better to just sleep with him?
I understand what you're saying, because obviously when you get married, the love that you have for that person and other people that you've been in a relationship is definitely different, because you're married and you're going to build a life with them. So I think when I get to that, I'll probably be like, oh, do you know what, I wish I'd have waited. But
Yeah.
now I'm not trying to settle down. I'm not in that time of my life, so my perspective is going to be different.
What age would you like to settle down?
If I'm completely honest, it's all about when my career is when I'm happy with where I am in my life, if that makes sense. Because I wouldn't want to settle down not having achieved everything that I want to achieve on myself, because I'm kind of quite selfish in that. I want to be very successful, do a lot, have tons of businesses. So I think, say if I blew up and I had all this success by the time I was 27, then cool, I'll look for when I'm 27. But it depends on where I am financially and stuff like that, to be honest.
What value does your career bring to a guy?
Well, music, I want to inspire people and motivate people, and I want to make a change. I want to...
Yeah, but men don't care. Yeah, like, I'm looking for a girl to inspire and motivate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I've heard Pearly things, and quite a few people say that men don't care. Any man worth his salt that isn't already built, right? But you kind of, you're making upwards of 6 figures or more or whatever. You 80,000, whatever. You pulling in what you pulling in. You're going to be looking for a woman to not necessarily have a threshold, right? Say, oh, you got to make 40, 50, 100,000. For me, I'm all about, and I encourage women to build their personal brand or build their personal business. Like, I don't have a problem with that at all. In fact, like I said, I salute you. I feel like that shows me you are independent enough to be able to hold your own. That's valuable to me. The thing is that, like, I think a lot of guys, maybe that's getting conflated, but I think a lot of guys don't like the attitude that might come with it, because I think a lot of women do put the value on the man. Okay, how much can you earn? And if they're earning more or even the same amount, they might not have a certain respect for a man or feel like they need to quote unquote submit. But that's a whole different conversation. What does submission mean? And I guess that means different things for different people. But I understand like what Pearl is saying, but at the same time I think it gets misconstrued, because it's almost like there's no value if the woman's making money, and that's ridiculous. I mean, that's, especially in this day and age, again, we got to update our software, you know what I mean, male and female, like that whole dynamic, because women are making more money, right? And like I said, it's great to be able to do that, you know what I'm saying? I think for a guy, the value that it brings for a guy, I'm going to just speak for myself and speak, like I said, for guys that are similar to myself. We see that you can see things through. You're willing to learn. You're willing to build. Obviously, it's not easy to build a business, a successful business. So you're going to be able to see that through. You got leadership qualities. I don't want you blowing my phone all the time and not being able to make a decision without me. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Chances are we discussed it. We know what to do and we run with it. A lot of times, unless you're already wealthy, you need two incomes in the household. And you need to be able to build together. You need to find somebody that's similar to you in path. And you got to communicate what you bring to the table. That's why both people need to explain what they bring to the table. And saying, okay, here's what I can do well. You communicate and say, here's what I want. Here's what I need. Here's what I bring to the table. Let's see how we can work this. There's a lot of women out here that's getting it. You know, you have a daughter, you're going to tell them, hey, go out and get yours. You can have leverage in your life so that you don't have to just be with anybody. You can get a quality guy. I totally would tell her, hey, you know what I mean? Stack your bread, do what you got to do until you find the right guy. But there's balance with that, and just because you're making money as an independent woman doesn't mean that you got to be disrespectful to the average guy. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where things are getting conflated.
I do want a family. For me, that's very important because I don't have any siblings and all my family members are very far spread out across the world. So for me, I need that security.
So just a stat for you guys. Did you know if you hit 30 and you're still single, you drop to a less than 50% chance of you being able to have a kid? Meaning that if you're still single, you're more likely to not have a kid than have one. And so it's like knowing that you wouldn't want, like, because you know you're 24 now, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you date a guy tomorrow and you date him for 3 years and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It's like then now you're a bit older and you have to keep.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest proponent of marriage, but if that's, you know, if that's what you want, if that's the ends to your means, right? Like, what makes you really committed relationship, right? Someone that you could build with, someone that you could see the future with, whatever that may be. Ideally, you want that foundation there, and then you want to have the kid, right? Understood. A lot of these girls aren't doing wrong in that sense, right? If you said, hey, I'm gonna get right with myself, get independent, get, you know, build my skill, understand what I need to do as a you know, and map myself out, map my life out, map who I am, find out who I am. You would hope to do that before you get too old to have kids, right? And that's what we're trying to balance, the time and the whole process there. And, you know, it isn't something that you can order off Amazon, right? You can't just go and do it like that. It's not something that you could just put in your back pocket and wait for you know, whenever you want to have it after your career is developed and then go do that. But as you start to build that and you're getting through your late 20s and your mid 30s, you have to start having a keen eye out and start looking at getting yourself fit for a relationship, and then also understanding what you're looking for.
I could turn 13 for my dream guy the next day. Do you know what I mean? And then build a relationship with him.
You could, but the odds aren't in your favor.
Yeah.
And the number, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of times society tells us to go after a career first, when it would be a lot easier if we were married, because you could have the same experiences. You could just have them with your husband. Do you want to be a mother?
Oh yeah, I want like 5 kids.
Well, you know, 90% of your eggs, 90% of your eggs are gone by 30.
Yeah.
So wait too
See,
long. You can't have 5.
She be on the ass with them numbers though. I ain't. She be on the ass with them numbers though, dog.
Yeah.
You're geriatric. Do you know when geriatric pregnancy starts? Any of you?
34.
What's geriatric?
No.
Damn,
What
look
is
at
You
it.
know the answer. I was going for them.
What is geriatric?
So geriatric pregnancy is like high risk pregnancy. You know when that starts?
I'd
30.
probably say 30 plus.
Wait, no, it's 40, right?
No, wrong.
Cheating, he just
wrong.
said it, bro. Stop cheating, he just said it.
28. It's
And that's what I mean. You be in your 20s, and yeah, time go by a little slower in your 20s. All of a sudden, time get away from you as you get to like I said, your late 20s and early 30s. Before you know it, it's mid 30s, and that's when you're starting to get into that danger zone. And yeah, it's real now.
It's 35.
Really?
Yeah, so high risk pregnancy starts at 35.
What's a
And
high-risk
IVF, it's
pregnancy?
actually most likely that it won't work out.
Well,
Complications, I think.
I'm IVF.
What?
I'm IVF. I'm an IVF baby. My parents started trying to have a kid 34, I think, but I think they had complications anyway.
Yeah, no, and they're lucky that you
Yeah.
they're lucky, but that's not the norm. Like the majority of IVF doesn't work out.
Yeah. And there's complications as well, so yeah. But we can do stuff like freeze our eggs and stuff like that. I know that again, it's not 100%, but But like you said,
No, but even like the odds aren't, if you're over, it's like it's a less than 50% chance that that works out, that you actually even conceive the kid. So it's like they kind of lie to us because they tell us we have all these options when we don't. When half of your options are also gone by 30. So the number of options you have at 20, by the time you get to 30, half of them are gone.
don't you think it's a lot of pressure on a woman?
Yeah, it is.
It's actually quite sad. Like, even this conversation has opened my eyes.
Makes you realise.
You're being told, some people are saying that women shouldn't have a career, they should focus on their marriage and care about their husband and their children. Other people want to not have housewives and want their woman to have a career, but then we have the pressure of not being able to have kids at a certain age. There's so much for women to kind of squeeze in.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's life. That's life. And so, yeah, you only here for a certain amount of time. You got to make it count. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you got to figure out, that's what this conversation is about, right? So that the decisions that you make, just the ability to be self-aware and understand what you're trying to do, and then trying to make your moves synchronize with that and align with that. It's always responsibility and accountability. If you call that pressure, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's okay. I gotta try to have a family by a certain period of time. If whatever's most important, I'll try to attack. You know, if your biggest thing is having a family, then yeah, you might probably start early. It's not about being regretful, you know, what decisions you make. It's just about knowing what you're trying to do so that you can get the results you want. At least do as much as you can and control the controllables. Control what you could control.
Well, that's the thing. You can't have everything, but it's like, what outcomes do you want? Like,
Priority.
Right. And so it's kind of a trade-off because, you know, women over the age of 45 that are still single and childless, like, they're on drugs. They're on drugs at a higher rate than any other group. And they're more depressed than any other group. And they don't tell us that we're really on a time clock. And they don't really warn us about that. And you can't have everything. And so it's the question of, like, what outcome do you want?
Personally, for me, I've had this conversation myself a fair few years ago, actually. I want the fame and fortune and to have a career, but I need a family for my mental health. So if I had a pill, one of them was to have a family, and one of them was to be famous, I would have a family. Because that's what I need.
Right. So why wouldn't you prioritize that now, knowing that the quality of guy you're going to get is only going to get worse? Like right now, that you're the most attractive you're ever gonna be. You know, it'd be one thing if you were fat, and then you could lose weight and get it, but you're in shape, right?
Thank you.
So,
Thanks.
do you know what I mean? Like, because they always give me this exception, like, because if you're fat, duh. But you know, you're in good shape, so it's like this is the highest quality guy you're ever gonna be able to get.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna get worse.
I hear that, but for me to raise a family the way I want to raise it, I want to have money. That's not for me to go spoil my kids, because I think raising kids spoiled doesn't teach them anything. But I would want them to not struggle the way that I've struggled.
Could you marry a guy with money?
Would I marry a guy with money? Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you just do that?
Because
you could. You're pretty enough.
I mean, thank you. I could do, but I wouldn't be fulfilled. And I think in life, it's all about fulfilling your own hopes and dreams and stuff like that.
So what is, like, this world doesn't sound real to me. And I come from, like, my dad's a top, like, 1% earner. He's very, very successful. And, like, I grew up around successful people, but this doesn't sound real. Because the mom has this successful career, and the dad also has this successful career. And they also have They also have 5 kids. Like, something's got to give. You literally can't do everything, or you're paying a nanny to raise your kid.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. If I had money and I was a businesswoman and I was busy, I would have help.
See, like right there. Okay, I get you. Theoretically, if you're both doing a business that takes all the time out of your day, I don't know if you ever, like, do you have to have a nanny raise your kid? Like, I don't know if it's that extreme. I mean, I feel you. Okay. That's why I said we got to update the software, at least a little bit. A lot of people making money in a passive way, you know, where it doesn't take all day to make your bread. There's a lot of ways to make it work, you know, especially you could work from home. Like I said, when I hear certain things like that, you know, to me, it's just for the sake of the argument to be won, you got to be extreme to prove a point. And I get it. That's probably what part of what it is, right? It's just to prove your point of what you're saying, so that the lesson that you're trying to teach her sticks. But I think, to me, what's productive is really just saying, you know what, that could work, but it would take a special guy. right? Or a special situation. You got to figure that out too, right? Is, okay, you want to have a kid. One of you or both of you are going to have to be run a business or have a career that's flexible enough that the kids could be taken care of, even if some type of supplemental help like a nanny or something like that. But if you can make good money like that, you could probably do that, right? Or bring family members around, right? You could have them come through and help watch your kids. Like I said, there's ways to do it. Her whole point, what Pearl is saying, is that most of the time, most people have to work a lot of hours, and it's just going to take a lot of sacrifice. Somewhere you're going to have to sacrifice, right? Where is that?
And that's not me saying, I can't be bothered to look after my children.
It is.
Of course, but I would be there for the important parts, though. Say if I had...
It's not the same. It's not the same.
I do understand where you're coming from, but that would be the sacrifice that I would take.
Right.
And I would want my kids to see a working mum as well.
Right, but that's the problem. That's the modern mindset. It's about my career and me before the family. And I think that's like what is so broken down nowadays, is that we all care about ourselves before the family. And to have a family that's successful, you have to be selfless. You know, our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers didn't stay with their husbands by thinking about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
That's true. That's definitely true.
So you mentioned you want to be a mother. Like, what are you doing to prepare to be a mother?
I eat healthy most of the time. That was a really good question, actually. That's put me on the spot. Well,
what are you doing? So if a guy said, okay, you can work for 3 years, he meets you today, and he says, okay, that's fine, you work for 3 years, and then we're going to have children. What skills do you bring to the table? What would you say?
I'm a very fair and understanding person. I'm able to... Oh gosh, that's a really hard question.
She's got the most biggest heart.
Oh, thank you. I'm like I said, I'm a really caring person. I know what my parents did that I would want to do different. And yeah, that's such a hard question. It's put me on the spot. There's a lot of things, but I just can't really think of them.
You're very ambitious as well.
Just list some things. Problem solving, you know. Having kids, there's going to be a lot of problems to solve. That's just what it is. It comes with life. Life already comes with your own set of problems for yourself. Now you got kids, which multiplies that for sure. There's a lot of things that you could list only if you thought about it. The fact that you can't list anything is troubling. They probably think, oh, well, I'll just come up with it later. Nah, you gotta be sharp. Show how sharp you are. Show that you actually have put thought into things. If you want to be listened to, you want to be given credit, you want somebody to respect what your opinions are, you got to do some research. You got to put some thought behind it.
I'm ambitious, but men don't give a shit.
I would
don't care.
If I cared and I loved you, I would do anything for you. Like, I would be your support, your everything.
Right, but what? Because, you know, it's like if you're applying to a job, you say, I can do this, 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 and this.
So, I understand what, like, when you guys were saying earlier, because it's all about status for a man and their woman. Like, for example, if there was a group of guys and all their girlfriends were going out on a night out, and one of the guys turned around and said, well, my woman's staying at home. In his head, that's a status thing.
That is, yeah.
For example, if your man was to bring his friends round and you were to offer, oh, what would you guys like to eat? Again, that's a status thing because your woman is taking care of you and your friends. So I want to provide, which is where the money comes from, because I also think guys deserve to be treated like a king. It's not just the girls should be wined and dined all the time. So that's why I want to make money, not just to be able to take my husband out using his credit card. I want to use mine.
So your money is his money in the relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you guys care about a girl's money?
I wouldn't care in it, but if she had money, then it's for mine. And my money's mine, easy as. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So like if she needed something and she has my kids, do you know what I'm saying? Then I'll obviously operate to her. But my money's my money. I'll obviously give it to you if you need it. And your money's my money, easy as. That's how it works. Do you understand?
Yeah, in a marriage, yeah, because you come together, don't you?
Because like the girl's money's my money, and my money's my money. Do you understand? But when she needs something, I obviously provide it for her. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Also, he basically managing the money. Like I said, everybody has their own way to work that out. Some of the cookie cutter ways coming out saying this and that, or they want this and that. And I could understand, you know, you doing the research, you're getting a lot of feedback that I've seen all kind of different ways. I've seen what a woman manages. Like, okay, the guy brings in the money, all the money he gets on the check goes right to the woman, and she manages all the money, you know, pays the checks, pays the bills, all of that, and he gets a little allowance. I'm not saying that works for me, but you know, everybody, it works for, like, and he's saying the same thing, but the opposite. Like, he basically manages the money. You know, the money you bring in as a woman, he gets put to the coffer, and he manages it. You want some money, you gotta go to him and get it. You know what I mean? Again, everybody got their way of doing it. You know, so that's why I'm trying to put out there, because, like I said, you need some reason. After a while, you take sides and you just start spewing nonsense. You start just talking shit and arguing in circles. Like, I'm trying to really get to a resolution to understand, you know, just saying, okay, whatever your opinions are, whatever side of the fence you are, here's what you're trying to do, so that you align your actions with what you're trying to do. That's all I'm here for. I don't, you know, whatever side, I know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm already living the life I want to live. If you find yourself not getting the results that you want to get, and you feel like you're a quality person, chances are it is still you and the decisions you're making. So you have to say, okay, you know, are the results that I'm trying to get aligned with the actions I'm taking on a daily basis? You know, is that translating to the results I want? And if it's not, that you need help. You know what I mean? Chances are you're gonna need to change something about yourself. And that's part of it, right? Is figuring out what side of the fence you are, right? Do you want a 50-50 relationship? Do you want an 80, you know, whatever, 100-100? You know, this person takes care of the money. They make all the money and I don't make none. I'm a housewife. Whatever you're trying to do, it has to align with what you really want to do.
It's my money, but I'm not gonna not allow you to have it because we're married. We're a partnership.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Let's say your guy your man needs it. Like, money takes
It's
it.
not even a question. You can have
That's
it
good,
straight away.
Ashton. That's very good.
Thank
I respect that about
Thank
you.
you very much. Thanks.
Do you care?
Nah, I don't care at all. And any woman that's ever like done anything with me, I pay for everything. 5-star hotels, restaurants. I'm flying to Poland tomorrow. Her and her friend are supposed to meet up with me. She said, we're not rich like that. I said, whenever I ever had you pay for anything.
I find it offensive when a
Your
girl
money
offers to
doesn't
pay.
matter.
I find it offensive when a girl
You
offers
find it
to pay.
offensive?
Yeah, I find it offensive. Cause like,
Isn't it rude if they don't though? Would
no,
you not be
it's
rude?
not. It's not, because you know who
Why
splits
do
the
you think
bill.
it's offensive?
You know who splits the bill? Friends split the bill. They're like, oh, my friend, let me split the bill with you.
But the offer though, would you rather a girl
That's
offer
not the
than
offer.
not?
That's offensive. That's offensive. End of. You know what I'm
But
saying?
then
It's offensive. Now it's offensive, bro. Like, I be thinking some people be capping for the camera, bro. I'm convinced. You just say that you prefer to pay, my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's offensive. It's beyond me. You know what I mean? That she offers, it's offensive. I would say it's okay. It's cool. I'll still go ahead and pay it though, right? What's like? Come on, dog. What we talking about?
she could be
like
using
when
all
I
your
offer
money.
back
Girls
in.
need to get used to the fact that
He cut old boy off to say some lame shit. Like,
car's on me, cash is on me, tap it, end of, go. That's the way to go. You know what I'm saying? No, oh, can I split this with you? That's embarrassing for the man. You know what I'm saying? The man knows he has to pay. You know what I'm saying? And the girl should know to stand back, let him handle the finances. Easier. You can't just say to your own man, oh, can I split the bill with you? That's offensive. That's like I was saying, I'm friends with you,
Yeah.
so I'll offer to split the bill.
I ain't never
If you
heard
know
that,
he was
bro.
truly your man, you would just leave it to him. We'll pay it, this and that. You don't think about it, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think if a
course,
guy
but-
accepts splitting the bill, he doesn't like her that much?
Then he's a bitch, bro. Easy as end of.
yeah, that little last bit, bro. I don't, you know, he just, maybe that's his opinion. That's what he really truly feels. But I didn't hear him say that at first. I heard him say, what's her money is his money, and he gonna take it and give it to her. And now he don't want her to pay nothing. Like, which one is it, bro? We gotta call Cap, man. Like, whoever's spitting that dumb shit, man. Like, to me, it gotta make sense, right? And I can say, okay, all right, whatever. I don't agree with it, but I can see like there's something tying it to this logic or reason, tying it to, you know, to what you're saying. It sounded like he was saying that because old boy was saying he would pay all the money. So, but whatever, man. That's minor shit. But I think a lot of people be disingenuous, man. You know, at the end of the day, just a girl offered it's not embarrassing, man. At least I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I feel like that's cool. Okay, that's what's up. Don't mean I'm gonna necessarily go for that. I'm gonna pay for it. If I'm coming there to pay for it, I'm gonna pay for it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's what's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'll chop it up. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how you could, how you could chip in or whatever. But there's nothing wrong with a girl, especially nowadays. Women are making good amount of money. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's women out here really doing that and blessing their man. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of things like this be having women confused. And I understand you can't, you got to also, as a woman, or any individual, when you hear people talk about anything, including myself, even about anything, right? It's just their opinion. But anyway, right? It's been a minute. You could have been anywhere, but you were chilling with me. And I appreciate that. If you hear your first time, please go ahead and subscribe. It's free. Bang on that like button. It's another thing that's free. I appreciate that, man. We just out here kicking it and being reasonable and trying to come up with some solutions, man. It's only a man and woman in life, man. We're trying to get right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap them up. Y'all be easy now. Like that.